Welcome back to episode 30, hour number 2 of Handy at the Shandy, a Las Vegas podcast. 99% Las Vegas, that's for sure.
1% Johnny Rockets. And for those who listened to the part 1, there are 6 Johnny Rockets on the Las Vegas Strip. 7 if you count Fashion Show Mall. We looked it up during the break.
We mean Adam. This hour is just going to be chock full of listener questions and feedback. Woo. And usually in the break, we go through and we say, okay, you read this one and you read this one, and I'll take this one.
We were busy with the Johnny Rockets. Yeah.
We're just going to go with the flow. And
I get to start then, I think.
Oh, okay. You go ahead, in fact.
Because this one is all boring, Jack. This one comes from Sean Wilson. You know him as ATX Vegas fan. He says, I was recently comparing my playing stats on videopoker.com with a mutual friend of ours who I'm starting to refer as the Rain Man of Ultimate X. His stats are damn near perfect, so I was picking his brain about a few hands that always seem to give me trouble. And he can only be talking about the one and only Vegas Duffy, because that guy is very good at the Ultimate X. He is considerably better than I am. Like if I make $1's worth of mistakes over some sample size, he's making like a quarter's worth of mistakes in that same area. Like,
wow.
He's considerably better than I am. And I like to think that I did a good job introducing him to the game of Ultimate X, seeing as how he's just gone off on the deep end at becoming a wizard at it. But Sean said none of that. That was all my embellishment. Back to Sean. He says, he mentioned that Boring Jack bestowed upon him the sacred knowledge of penalty cards and said that understanding them really helped improve his play. He tried explaining penalty cards to me and actually did a pretty good job, but I'm still feeling like a little Forrest Gump over here. I am not a smart man. So, if possible, I'd love to hear Boring Jack walk through a few penalty card examples and dumb it down for those of us in the cheap seats. Keep up the good work, fellas. Love the show. Even Adam.
Ooh. Well, here's the thing. This is like a Wayne Gretzky type situation where you can be the best player in the world, but you can't be a good coach. So you should feel honored, Jack, that he sees you as a good coach here.
So yeah, a penalty card is really just any card that you have in your hand that's not really related to your hold. Like, you weren't thinking of holding this card, but the fact that it's now going to be gone from the deck, not to be received again, means that you have to change your hold accordingly. This comes up a lot in Ultimate X. I'll get to that in a second, but I want to just go through a real concrete example just to clarify what this means. So an example would be regular old double bonus. All the machines at Chandelier Bar, you could play 965 double bonus, which is close to a 98% game, and you could get that at dollars. In that game, you very often want to hold a single ace, but sometimes you want to hold two face cards, two cards that are a jack or higher. I put in a hand where if you have ace jack of different suits and then 6, 7, 8, the single ace is preferred. Unless one of that 6, 7, 8 that you're throwing away has the same suit as that single ace you're considering holding. So if you have ace jack that are red, but different suits, and then 6, 7, 8 that are all black, the best hold is just the ace. But if you have the ace of diamonds and 6, 7, 8 with the 8 of diamonds, for instance, then you have to hold both the ace and the jack, because that ace's value goes down. You are penalized for throwing away the 8 because it shares the same suit as the ace. And a similar penalty card in this scenario would be like any 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. If you had a couple of those in your hand, that makes holding a single ace worse because you're not going to make as many ace low straights if there's a 2 and a 4 missing, let's say. It's just that much harder to make ace 2, 3, 4, 5. And so they only come up in situations that were really close to begin with. And that's why they're not something you hear about all the time, because it's just like you're already playing at a really high level if you're starting to incorporate these sorts of decisions into your play. Like in the example that I have here, the difference between making the right hold or keeping the penalty card in mind is 2/100ths of 1 credit. So 2% of 1 credit. And so if you were playing quarter denom, that would be 2% of a quarter, right? So you're talking about like, what is that, 5 cents? No, that's way too high.
0.5 cents.
Yeah, half of a cent. So that's kind of why we don't talk about it that much. But in Ultimate X, it actually comes up a lot because you are changing your hold so often around these really marginal situations where you're like, okay, is this a spot where I hold king 9-3 that are all suited, or do I just hold the king jack offsuit? And it's like, well, it's actually different when it's like king 9-3 versus king 6-3, because throwing away a 9 makes your king jack less valuable. You're not going to make as many straights with a king jack when a 9's missing as you will when a 6 is missing. And so this thing does come up in Ultimate X. And to really understand the Ultimate X stuff down to the penny, like Josh Duffy does, you do have to know it. But it's just kind of an advanced play that you don't really have to worry about as a new video poker player.
And I think one thing to mention, which may seem obvious for people who play a lot of video poker or in general kind of know the idea of draw poker, is that these cards can't come back up. Mm-hmm. Right. I could see a situation where if you really are just looking at this game, you don't know much about video poker or like draw poker. You're like, but couldn't that 3 of diamonds come back up? But no, once it's there on the draw, you're throwing them away. They are no longer part of what the redraw is going to be.
Yep. No matter how many cards you hold or throw away, there are always 47 cards remaining that you're choosing from to come up on the draw. So,
or 48 if you're playing choker poker.
That's a good point.
Good point.
But yeah, and it's single deck. I mean, that's also worth noting is that there's only one deck of cards as well. It's not like blackjack where you can get like a suited pair or something like that.
Ooh, that'd be an interesting variation of poker. Double deck.
Yeah, wouldn't that be wild? You could get 4 aces, throw it away, and still get 4 aces. I mean,
yeah, that'd be wild.
Wouldn't be very likely, but.
Well, thank you, Sean. Always love hearing from Sean Wilson. Terry Douglas on Twitter sent this one over to me, so I'll take it. He needs to add one night to his 4-night MGM offer for a December Wednesday. Should he, 1, just pay the $129 to stay in the same room as the 4-night comp stay? 2, take one comp night from Fontainebleau. He has a nice 4-day offer, but doesn't want to burn them. Or 3, scumbag it on Priceline.
He's going to the Palette Hotel on Tropicana.
Yes. Congrats. Do they have a Johnny Rockets there? They have to. No, they have Hooters.
No.
They have the AI-generated Johnny Rockets.
See, if this
AI-generated Hooters?
well, hey, I've seen that.
Grok, please. I've seen that.
Grok, are these real? Yeah. So for me, I probably would just pay the $129 and then maybe see if that gets comped off again at the end. Or even if it doesn't, then you just say, hey, I stayed here at MGM for 5 nights for an average of, $30 a night, and kind of think of it that way rather than moving to another place for one night. And this is coming from the person who very regularly double/triple books or goes for 5 nights
on random nights.
Yeah,
just tax on oh gosh, I accidentally moved my flight to another day later. I guess I have to book a completely different casino on the other side of town for one night. I would never
do that. I would never go all the way to Luxor for one night, for one extra night of Vegas. But I think if I was a reasonable man and I was trying to answer this, I think I'd make the argument for number 1, which that means that the two of you have to make an argument for the other ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to add on to that, like that $129 shrinks pretty rapidly when you think of just the cost to getting to Fontainebleau. If you're not already renting a car,
right?
You could walk. You got to pack up. How much money mentally is that worth to you? But then also getting in an Uber, whatever, getting there. But then if you're not planning to actually stay only at Fontainebleau the rest of that day, you're going somewhere else. And granted, it's December, you could walk. But you're probably going to be taking another form of transportation. So, like I said, that $120 is going to be negligible or just completely wiped away based on the decisions you make. But this is the exact situation I'm finding myself in for October, which is we've got 3 nights booked at Cosmo, and then we're debating moving over to Fontainebleau because the pool's still going to be open, and there's a good chance that we would just stay there the entire day. My wife's never stayed there. Obviously, they have beautiful rooms. We're thinking of maybe trying the Omasaki place, which is quite expensive, but that would just be us getting a day bed at Fontainebleau, me gambling in the casino for a bit while she got a massage, and then having dinner there, and just making that the tail end of our trip. So if that's something that suits you, then maybe. But I think if you want to go anywhere else, just stay put.
And I think what you said about not wanting to burn them is important here, because it's actually really hard to even give them an average day of play on what is your last night in town and your first night at the property.
Right.
Both of those conspire together to make it so that you're really going to be only there for like half a day, no matter kind of how you slice it. And so I think that if you're planning on staying at Fontainebleau in the future, that you should probably just save it. But if I was tasked with making an argument for scumbagging on Priceline, it would just be because I was adventurous and wanted to try somewhere else. You're just like, yeah, give me Durango. Like, let's go try something completely different, right? But otherwise, no, I think option one was by far the standout one for me as well.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for that, Terry. Graham Wisher reached out on X and said, been listening to the back catalog of episodes while pretending to work. Which of the episodes are your favorite, and are there any you wish you could do over again? Now, he adds the "you" in favorite, so I'm assuming that this is someone from overseas. So we have international listeners, which is great. Yes, and catalog as well, which I appreciate.
And he also said
could be
whilst
Canadian.
pretending to work.
Whilst,
Well, that just means he's well educated.
Yeah,
that's a great word.
Graham, for me, I've never listened to a full episode of this show, so I don't know. And that's 100% true. I think I showed the guys that the last episode I've listened to, I got 7 minutes into the first episode, and that's where it stopped on my iPhone. And I showed them that. But
I really like the idea that if someone just started playing our intro and outro music, Adam wouldn't like bat an eye. He wouldn't be like, "Oh, what's this? This is familiar." You'd just be like,
I don't know what they sound like. No,
yeah,
I have no idea.
It'd be
the noise that my mother calls it.
Yeah, well,
yeah. You could have changed it. You could have changed it every episode. I have no idea. But I would say that my favorite episode to record, or episodes, I forget if we did multiple of them, was when all three of us were actually in Vegas together. So like I think anytime
we did 4 full hours on that trip report from F1. That was wild.
That was a fun trip, and I think when we're sharing the experiences together, it's really fun to hear. Also because like I think with any group trip, it's really fun to hear about like what others were doing when we're like away from each other. Because like, yeah, we spent a lot of time together, but too like, hey, what were you doing while I was here? You know, and kind of the hijinks that people were getting into. So, but yeah, I think trip reports are my favorite.
You leave Adam at the sports bar during the NFL Sunday, and you learn later that it was like a Rich Little Piggy saga after the fact. Yeah, like, oh, okay. I kind of assumed it was more, NFL related, but
yeah. So those the combined trip reports when 2 or 3 of us are out together those are my favorite to record, at least.
I love the idea that we're old enough to have like a back catalog. We've been doing this for like a year, right? So the fact that going through and catching up, I don't know, I take that as a big compliment, but also it's like, when I think about podcasts that have a back catalog, I'm thinking about like, okay, you've got like 1,500 by Midnights to listen to, or hundreds. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, with the length of some of our shows, we have.
My only things that immediately came to mind as a favorite were ones where like I thought I came up with a segment that I thought did well. Like the one where I read off the LVCVA stats. That one actually just went way better than I thought it was going to. And so like I have fond memories of that, but I'm not certain it would be one of my favorites to go back and listen to as like a listener. So I don't know if I have a great answer there. James, what do you like before we try to come up with a do-over again?
I can't necessarily put my finger on many of them. I like every time we do a trip report, it's really weird because during it, if I'm the one speaking, if I'm giving a trip report, I'm like kind of in my head a little bit being like, man, this is fucking boring. Like, I don't know why people want to listen to this. But then I will listen back to it and be like, wow, that was really fun. Like Adam and Jack had some great moments where like they interjected perfectly and we had some, good banter. And so I think like during the recording, when one of the two of you have a trip report, I really like it because I'm listening to stuff for the first time. And it also gives me a moment to like think about where can I kind of butt in and make a stupid joke or a dad joke or whatnot, or play off of one of the two of you. So recording wise, I think when one of you has a trip report, it's really, really fun. But listening back to any of the trip reports, I really, really liked.
I think it's funny because I'm similar to what James is saying, but like when James is giving a trip report to me and Adam, and I'm here on the call, I am like, yeah, this is actually kind of boring. And then I go through to edit it, and I have to listen to like more ums and ahs and cut out. Like I spend more time listening to the worst parts of it when I'm editing, because that's the parts you have to edit around the most. And so when I'm editing it, I'm like, yeah, this is not very good. And then the episode drops, and I listen to it again for like what's ostensibly the third time. And I'm like, this is great. What a great trip report James had. And it's not, and this isn't me like tooting my horn that I edited something bad into good. It's just like I'm in 3 completely different mindsets until I finally like become a listener. And then I'm like, oh, this is good stuff. Like, what was that other guy thinking twice over? So,
they're fun. And I think if I really didn't like a lot of episodes, I would not be doing this, right? Like,
right, I don't have anything I wish I could do over, because I don't even remember like anything that.
I think there have been some times where I felt like I wasn't as prepared because I was so busy that I didn't even like look into things. And like I could have been more prepared about like hour 1 of this episode, let's say, about the Vegas bygones. Like I could have done a little bit more research and been like,
I could have written down what my thing for Caesar's Palace was,
right?
Instance,
things like
rather than
that.
try to remember it.
But I don't think I would say I would want to do them over again. The only reason why I'd want to do any of the trip reports over again was because then I would say, well, we have to go do that trip again. And that's what I want to do again. Guess we're going to have to go back to F1. But I do plan at some point, maybe after we've done this for 2 years, I plan on going back and listening to ours again, like go back through our catalog. I think that would be really interesting to be like, man, I can't believe we fucking talked about taking out markers 9 times in the first 40 episodes.
People like to hear about markers.
They do.
So next question comes from @OddlyElite and says, this question is for Table Dance James.
Ooh.
He says, last trip he was on, one of the wives expressed interest in visiting a strip club. But at that point, we were already in for the night and never made it back out. It came up again in the planning for our next trip. We heard on the debut of the Chasing Even podcast, what are we plugging, that you, James, are a big strip club guy. What clubs would you recommend for 2 early 50-something couples at the end of a night out? Something huge like Sapphire? Something more unpolished like Palomino? Something in between? The ladies have never been to a club, and I presume they'll just want to sit and check out the stage show and maybe get a dance on the floor. Love, friend of the pod, Oddly Elite.
Now, I do want to say before you jump in, James, that if I did win the Powerball, I would actually get a billboard in Vegas with your picture on it that says big strip club guy. That would be the first thing I do. Now that I'm thinking about it.
When I saw this in the Google Doc, I cut and pasted this into my chat with Kim and was like, hey, sorry, babe, this is my new name. And she laughed so hard for a couple of reasons. One,
you do it at home.
Vinny Chenz made it seem like I am, as this person, as Oddly Elite is saying, is this big strip club guy. I've been to 3 strip clubs in Vegas.
He wants a partner. He wants someone who likes it as much as he does. He's projecting.
That is true. That is true. And so I don't think I would be the best person to say this. I'm mainly only go to Sapphire.
You're probably the best on this show, though.
So
you do have
might
to
be the
answer
best
the
on this show. So I'm going to answer the show. I think Sapphire is pretty nice, and it's a big enough club that you can like find a seat. Like usually you can find a seat and like hang out, but there are a lot of girls there. So you're saying no a lot, like, hey, no, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. And that's like their job, obviously, to come up and talk to.
It's like the massage ladies at Chandelier Bar.
It's just like the massage ladies. So that's what I would say. I haven't been to Palomino. I've been to Little Darlings because I know, right? Been there.
And they have big darlings?
They might have big ones. And I think I've been to another one with my March Madness trip, but I don't know which one it was. But Sapphire is usually the one.
Don't know which one it was.
That was Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah, that's the mark. I don't know. I was in a cab, and they were like, "We're going." I'm like, "All right, cool, let's go." So I guess I would, just from my experience, I would say a big place like Sapphire. I'll give the tip that I think I gave on this pod, which is you could just go onto their website and chat with their little chat bot, and they'll send you a car, and it could be an Uber, it could be whatever, and then tip them $20 and you'll get in with a free entry, especially if you have a couple of women with you. That'll be we'll get you all in for free, and here's a ride, and you tip the guy $20-$30, so it saves a good amount of money. So that's my strip club review. Now, I guarantee you, if you send this in to Chasing Even, there'll be an entire episode that Vinny can go into, because Vinny will say, hey, if this is the mood you're in, you should go here. If this is the mood you're in, you should go here. If it's a Wednesday, there's a wing special at this place in Henderson. I'm sure he knows all that type of stuff. He does. He does.
I like a good flow chart.
But I do like the new name, and I might have to change that now on all my socials.
I like that. Well, speaking of Vinny Chenz, he says it's clear James hits more hand pays, but of the three of you, who, and then we've got about 4 questions here that we can answer. So of the three of us, who can run a mile the fastest? We know that Boring Jack has the endurance to walk.
It's got to be Adam. I'm in terrible shape. You can speak to that, James, but sorry for throwing you Adam, in my bus.
What would you run a mile in right now?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I play hockey multiple times a week, and that's basically all sprinting. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I used to be able to run a mile when I played soccer, like really, like under 7, which I know isn't like extremely fast, but like fast enough. I don't know if I could run a mile right now in under 10. I must be able to break 10.
That was my thing. I can get under 10, but like
I can get under 10. Yeah,
but I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna.
How about this? I'll do it. I'll do it this week.
Okay.
And we can report back.
I will too.
We've got a treadmill in the basement, so I'll do that. And I haven't used it, but this will be my first go at it.
We're gonna run a mile. All 3 of us are gonna run a mile this week and see who can run the fastest.
My God.
Okay, we'll do it. Okay, I'll record it.
All right.
So we'll get back to you on that one. I appreciate that little challenge there. Who's most likely to end up in Gamblers Anonymous? I was gonna say it's gonna be me, even though I don't need it. I'd be like, I'm taking this too far. And I would just like self-admit without any.
You're more likely
to
freak yourself out after a big loss or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're also less likely to have a big loss that freaks you out because
that's true.
2 of us. So I don't know. That's a tough call. I feel like I do think there's a bit of give and take here, because for anything that would cause you to be a higher risk factor might also cause you to be less likely to admit you have a problem. And so even though all of us are pretty close in the amount we gamble and the compulsiveness with which we gamble and that sort of stuff, any little differences in that would tend to weigh each other out on the other end, maybe.
Yeah. I was going to do a bit, be like, it definitely wouldn't be me. There's no way. I would never, ever. I don't need it. What are you guys saying? Vinny,
the fun has never stopped.
The fun doesn't stop.
Strip Club Goers Anonymous. We know who that would be.
That would definitely be. That would definitely be me. Who could give up Vegas the longest?
Adam.
Yeah, definitely me.
He's a fraud. 100%. He doesn't even go to Vegas.
He doesn't even go to Vegas. And who could live in a casino the longest without leaving? Let's say Horseshoe.
Oh, God. It's good to know he listens. We'll just put that out there. But live in a casino the longest without leaving?
It's got to be James.
Me.
I'll say you have to go for your walks.
Yeah. Oh, I can't. Well, I can. Yeah. Okay.
I think
you'd have to get out. You'd have to get outside and go for a walk.
Yeah,
I think it's
fair.
James.
There have been times in Vegas where I'm like, wow, I haven't been outside in 3 days. So I think that would be me. Cool. I love those. I love those types of questions of the 3 of you. Which one of you is X, Y, or Z?
I mean,
we're getting to know each
say that our only segment is one good thing, but there is a now dormant segment called Quickfire Topics.
Yeah, that's right. Quickfire Topics.
So Chenz was playing into that a little, so that's cool.
Sorry, I took that question halfway through, Adam. I don't know why. I was just like,
yeah, you took way control. I wasn't doing it well enough. That's okay.
Must have been it.
Please proceed.
Sean King on X/Twitter sent me this. Said, after my last trip, I was emailed by a host at Fontainebleau who was nice enough to cover some food, beverage, and resort fees. Does this mean I need to let him know the next time I book an offer? Is it a bad look if I'm there and he sees I'm playing because of my player's card? So this is kind of, wrapped into the whole idea of having a host and like, what's your responsibility as a player in like letting them know?
Well, first I'd say you have no responsibility whatsoever. You can do whatever the hell you want.
I think there is a gray area, though, where you almost have a host, but you don't actually. And I end up in this area a lot because my play does not rate a host at any of the properties I'm at. But that doesn't mean I don't like accidentally get one assigned to me for some reason or another. Like I have at Venetian, I have one. I have like a marketing contact on the website if I log into the Players Club. And it's just, I think it was just whoever was working the one time I stopped in and asked them, hey, can the host on duty like take a look at my folio, that kind of thing. Yeah, you might be coded to this person going forward, but in some sense, it doesn't really mean it's your host. And no, you don't have to engage with them at all if you just prefer to book through your marketing offer. And if you continue to play more or at a larger level, they might try to be more hands-on if they think that that will enhance their compensation or career or whatever, right? Like they're just going to do their job. And if their job means noticing that Jack isn't a very big player after all and ignoring him, that seems to be what happens to me a lot. But if I was playing at twice or three times the rate, I'm sure this guy would be reaching out. So,
But good on you for, getting all that taken care of. That's awesome. But you don't need to change anything.
No, you don't need to. I mean, again, the way that I view the host relationship is I'm going to normally let any of my hosts or marketing people know that I am coming out and ask them to book, even if all they can get me is the marketing offer that I have. There is a higher chance that I'll get maybe a better floor, right? Or they might code and say for a nicer room. I think there's a higher probability of that. An example is for my September trip. I'm going to stay at Planet Hollywood, and I went online and I saw that I had, the free rooms available at Planet Hollywood for those 2 nights. But I'm like, I'll just email the host. And, she put in there, high floor, whatever, suite upgrade if available. But then she called me and was like, I wanted to let you know that as a Diamond Plus person, when you're here, you can get 2 free tickets to a show, but you have to be on property and you have to go into the app and make sure your location services are there. And then absinthe is one of the possibilities. Like, so you and your wife can go to a show for free. And also don't forget, you get 4 free ticket or 4 free drinks each day as Diamond Plus. So like, there's a little more information you might get from a host if you just say, hey, what else is going on? Is there anything else that's available to me? So I do think there's some value in letting them know. I don't think they'll be mad if they see that you're there without telling them. I think they would be more mad if you're like, hey, I'm coming in for this big gambling trip. And then you're like, fuck you. I'm going to go to Resorts World instead.
And you double book them.
Double book them. Do it all the time.
I will just say that I have had the opposite experience where I had a host, at least someone claiming to be a host. You never know what their actual title is and whether, they're a marketing rep of sorts or an actual executive host. But she reached out to me from Cosmo, and this was back when they were still on Identity and not on MGM Rewards, and basically said, hey, I'm your host. Let me know if you need anything. And I said, great, I'm coming out in 3 months for this thing. Like, what can I get? What she quoted me was just strictly worse than what I could get through Identity on the website. Like, it was not even close. She was
ridiculous.
Like, I can do this night comped and these 2 at this rate. Whereas on their website, I could get 2 nights comped and then 1 at a much lower rate. And so it was just remarkable that this is something that happens. But
this was not really this was just someone from Expedia who's calling all these random people and trying to get them to book.
I occasionally will get texts from her
people
when I'm on the property. Like she knows when I check in and will occasionally. Yeah, no, I mean,
she's like, hey, would you like to pay more for your room?
I mean, this is why you are in no way beholden to your host, because they're not even beholden to give you a better offer than what you can get online. So
yeah.
All right. Well, next up is podcast favorite John B., who's got a little bit of info for one of our writers from last time. He says the Spin Poker Ultimate X Machine game is back in the high limit area of Cosmo. So in the new high limit area, you don't have to go off strip necessarily to find a Spin Poker Ultimate X. I don't know what the limits are going to be like in the high limit, but it is there.
Nice.
He says there's also Spin Poker Ultimate X at Planet Hollywood high limit, as well as at Caesar's Palace. So there are a few more strip options than our listener from last episode perhaps was aware of. And then John B says, technically, there are some strategy changes, because this is the question that was asked last time, is like, when I'm playing spin poker, do I need to make any changes? He says, technically, there are some strategy changes between single line and multi-line Ultimate X, and he's not sure how spin poker pivots off that. And I think that is a good point. But the reason that Ultimate X single line has different strategy than Ultimate X, like 3, 5, or 10 line, is very often the pay table is just different. It's just very often worse at single line. And even at 3, 5, and 10 line, there's a very small and strange difference in the Ultimate X multipliers. And which I'll just explain exactly what it is, which is that at Ultimate X, the multipliers go up the better the hand you hit, up until you get to a full house. Mm-hmm. The full house is the best poker hand you can hit that awards you a high-end multiplier, and it gives you a 12x. Generally at Ultimate X, anything better than that, so 4 of a kind, straight flush, royal flush, 4 aces with a kicker, whatever you want to call it, those award a 2 times multiplier. That's only true at 3 line. At 5 line, you get a 3x multiplier on your normal quads. And then at 10 line, you get a 4x multiplier on your normal quads. Oh. And that's it. But it is a very slight pay table change for the more lines you're playing. And it's only on the quads, and it's only on the multiplier you get after you've already hit the quads. So it's a really marginal change. Whereas what John B is saying is, no, very often, like if you get an 8x multiplier for a straight at regular Ultimate X, at single line Ultimate X, it'll just be a 7x for like no reason. And you're just like, oh, well, that sucks.
That makes sense, because I had never understood why, if you're playing 3, 5, 10 hand Ultimate X,
that the return was slightly better.
It gets slightly better. Is it completely because of that? Or
it's just that little thing. That's exactly
it. Is. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was something like when you get a key hand alert, you now have way more possibilities of something else. But you would think that
would just average out. Yeah. Which is kind of what I was saying last episode, is that, if there are no pay table changes, then it should play exactly the same. And so that will be my caveat. But thank you, John, for pointing that out.
Nice. Matt from OKC, subject, under the radar video poker spots. So here we're going to hear some of those, maybe ones that we haven't talked about a lot. This will be good. So MGM Grand, lobby bar, separated a bit from the casino floor, decent comped drinks, nickels and dimes, Ultimate X. Have either of you played at MGM Grand lobby bar?
No, but I do enjoy that it's called lobby bar. So I know I have a picture of it on my phone, because I really like it when the lobby bar is called lobby bar. But no, I've never played there.
It's right next to the elevators when you get out for some of the rooms. So it's actually in a really good location too. I like it there. Every time I've tried to go in there and find a spot, it's been packed. I think last time was during NFR, which explains a lot. But cool, that's cool to hear.
I love how you say it being right next to the elevator. It's like a perfect spot. Like I leave my room, I get down to the casino. I can't walk any further than just right here to get to
at MGM Grand, you might have to go like 2 properties over. So
seriously.
4 Queens Kings Bar, good progressives on double, and some great people watching right on Fremont. I actually have not played there, but I know it's a very popular spot. I believe you have, Jack.
I've played there very briefly, but my main gripe, and the reason that like I refuse to mention Kings Bar, is it used to have legitimately good video poker. Like they had 10-6 double, which is very close to 100% payback. And now it's like I don't know when it was. I think it was like 4 years ago at this point. So this is not new news, but it's just part of the downtown trend of getting rid of a lot of the good bar top video poker that they used to have. And part of the reason I like to rag on downtown is I know what they used to have very recently, and they just keep making it worse. At the same time, conditions get better throughout Vegas.
Right.
So
yeah, Kings Bar has that, I think everyone calls it the throne seat, where it's that one that's like on the corner, that's like right next to, as close as you can get to like the Fremont Street experience. So yeah, for people watching, absolutely.
You're practically sitting outside while playing there, which is cool.
That's kind of cool. Vanderpump / Cromwell interlude, horrible pay tables. Of course, the Caesars property, but great comp drinks and great bartenders that carried over. Is this the new Gigolo bar, or is this the
No, I think this is just the casino bar that like if you just walk in and then you start heading towards the Gigolo bar in the back, it'd be on like your left-hand side as you go down the main hallway.
The Schneider, excuse me. Yes.
Sorry, the Schneider. Okay, yeah, I have not played there. My dad played there a decent amount when we were there in July, but he was just playing like dollar Keno. So
I think in lieu of having lunch, I ate like some jalapeno chips from the cafe and sat at that bar and played So I have my main memory of the bar is jalapeno potato chips. Is all I'm saying.
Great. I see you eat very healthy when you're in
good
Vegas.
selling point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jalapenos are a vegetable.
Nice. So he gives all those.
Yes, or potato. Yeah.
He gives all those and he says, thoughts? What are some underrated spots and overrated spots for video poker? He says, I think View Bar and Mega Bar downtown massively overrated for video poker.
I don't agree on View Bar. We were playing there, and the guy is still working there. It's the same guy. Not that he's super old. He's probably not all that much older than I am, but he's been there like every day shift that I've ever been at View Bar. And one thing my friend said about him after we had a particularly fun session, just me and my buddy playing some quarter video poker there, he was like, that guy does not abide a thirsty gambler, because he will put down the next drink in front of you before you're like 2/3 done with the one that you were already on. And so I found the service at the View Bar to be great. You get to play for super cheap. The progressive element makes it kind of more fun and social. The only thing I don't like about the View Bar is that the machines they're just kind of dated at this point. But so it is now back to being underrated, and I'm saying that it's now, yeah.
Nope. I think it's just adequately rated at this point.
It's just whelmed. It's not overwhelming or underwhelming. It's just whelming. I'll go the opposite of Jack. I agree that View Bar is overrated. Like Jack showed me one time, I'm like, oh, this is cool. And like, yeah, I guess if I'm going with someone who's low rolling and playing quarters, single line is like what we want to do to have a good time, like it's fine. But like, you're not going to find anything. You're not going to find any 3-line. You're not going to find anything fun or interesting. And it's actually something I had a problem with all the Stevens properties, really, or even when I was at Plaza downtown. A lot of the downtown places, they're bar top video poker. They're the old machines. It's really just single line. Like, sure, you can go to dollars and get good pay tables, but you know, I need that adrenaline rush, man. I need more than one line. I can't just take one line at a time anymore.
What do you think, Adam? What would you say is an underrated spot?
Well, I had just read from John Mahaffey that Virgin has 100% payback machines now. And so I would say that we're probably missing some gems off strip. And so I'll throw a shout out to Virgin just because I read that. That's not behind a paywall, so John's not going to get upset. He wouldn't get upset with me sharing anything, but you don't have to pay for that information from him. So I think there's probably a handful out there that we haven't covered because we tend to not leave our little area. So I'll throw a shout out to Virgin for doing something to try and get people out there.
And I guess this is reporting that's come in from both You Can Bet on That and Crap Vegas, but that Solo Lounge that I was disappointed in their comp policy, but otherwise pretty happy with their video poker. This is at Fontainebleau, and it's currently serving as a temporary high limit slot room. So it's going to be a fair bit different than the last time you were in there, kind of regardless of this change. But they're now comping up to $60 for their comp policy, as opposed to the $20 that I railed on back around the new year. So yeah, that one now could be underrated because if people haven't caught up to the fact that it's now a kind of proper high limit bar.
I guess I could say that one that we talk a lot about I would consider it overrated, which is Palazzo High Limit.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of moved into that direction of, it was great when you first found out about it because it was kind of quiet and everything. And like, oh, these are great drinks. But as there are more really nice high limit areas, I would say that Palazzo is overrated, at least the amount of times that we've kind of talked about it and other podcasts have talked about it, because of a lot of reasons. One, there's no bonus poker. The pay tables, you can find better pay tables just by going out to Bar Luca, or at least the same pay tables going over to really any other high limit room. And the machines are just far apart, so you can't really have a social aspect. I think when it's two people, it's fine, you know, but any more than two, like you're yelling across the entire bar,
which we do not hesitate to do.
Oh yeah, we don't hesitate to do. I still think it's great, but I wouldn't put it up there on the, oh my God, I have to stay at Palazzo now because I want to play in that room. And in fact, I was talking with Duffy about it, of being like, you know, I really think if I had the choice right now, I would go back to Cosmo and play at Chandelier Bar. Now, I'm also up massive amounts of money at Chandelier Bar. So that's
Duffy spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't listened to Crap Vegas, but within the span of an hour, Duffy hit 2 hand pays totaling over $25,000 at the Chandelier Bar.
So I might be a little.
Do we get a commission for that?
We should get a commission.
I think we have to pay royalties. I mean,
Speaking of royals. Yeah. So I think I'd go with that. I don't know. Can the El Cortez high limit room that I just found out about?
Oh, I'm excited.
Those underrated. I'm excited for Jack in a couple of weeks to check that out and let me know how he feels about it. And yeah, I'd love to see some other places that people have.
It's actually kind of remarkable how us just for the last like 3 minutes sitting around naming video poker bars has made me like excited to go to Vegas. I'm sporting like a Vegas halfie right now.
Thanks to Matt for allowing you to go half mast there.
Love it. All right, we've got the last question / feedback from at Shantytown Brown or Shanty.
Hanty at the Shanty.
Hanty at the Shanty. They say, enjoyed the latest episodes. First quick comment. Regarding the second best hold conversation, we all want to hit a royal, right?
Right.
I think so. So given a non-wild jacks or better game, approximately how many dealt hands, if following perfect strategy, will be quote unquote eligible to have a chance at a royal? Do we have a guess? ?
I no, I have no guess.
And so I told James that like I found this to be actually kind of an uninteresting question because you would have to brute force it, right? Like there are about 2.6 million unique deals that you can get, which is 52 choose 5. And so very few of those are actual like 3 to a royal or 4 to a royal. That really doesn't move the needle that much, whether you start with those. Most of the royal eligible hands you're going to have are when you're holding 1 or 2 or 0, right? And so calculating of those hands where you're dealt 1 to the royal or 2 to the royal, of those, which ones do you actually hold a royal draw? Because oftentimes you have like a pair of 4s, and so you don't hold the jack you were dealt. Or you have a king and a jack, and they're off suit, but you still hold them both. And so it would be very hard without actually just going through with a computer program that knows the strategy to actually figure out what percentage of those holds do result in you being quote unquote royal eligible or not. And so I was just like, yeah, this is a question for a computer and not for me, even though we're often conflated.
Yeah. But then I said, you know what I think they're asking? Or maybe it's just the way that I read it and the way that I wanted to answer it, is how many dealt hands make you excited that I actually might get a royal, right? Because there are the moments where you get dealt a hand and you say, oh, look, it could be this time, right? And so the way that I went about it, I said, let's get rid of when you have to just throw everything away, dealt 1 and dealt 2. Because if I'm holding jack 10 of clubs, I'm not sitting there being like, ooh, maybe I'm going to get a royal.
Even though you did, you fucker.
I know I did get 2. But I mean, you did 2 this year. You have it by holding 2 as well.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah. So screw you.
But it wasn't very recently, and I forgot about
recent.
it.
Yeah. And I wasn't on that trip with you. You were on the trip with me when I did it. So I think that's interesting to think about how often when you're playing video poker do you get dealt a hand
3 or 4,
where you get dealt 3 or 4. And so we did figure that out, right? We went ahead and did the math to figure out how often you get dealt 3, how often you get 4. And then we knew that there are some times where you get dealt 3 to the royal,
but you have to hold like a high pair or a dealt flush or something like that.
But you have to hold the full flush or the so we came up with about 1.5% of the time you are going to get dealt a hand that you're like, ooh, this could be a royal.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
That seems kind of high. That 1 in every 100 hands is 3 royal or better. Maybe.
I
haven't looked at the math. This was James' math.
I did all the math, and I asked Jack to look at it, and he said, I can't find it. So we'll see how it goes. Shit, maybe I'm wrong. This is all Jack. It should have been Jack doing this, but I took the initiative on it.
Yeah, it's my fault for just being like, well, the answer to the question, how many hands are royal eligible? The answer to that question, actually, the 3 royals and 4 royals are negligible. So I ignored it. And James was like, well, the answer I want is what hands are exciting. And that's only 3 royals and 4 royals. So I'm going to answer that instead. Anyways, all this is to say that if you want exclusive access to fuzzy math from James. I think he's going to put a post up for free on our Patreon about it.
Yes.
I like how you guys were doing this the entire time. I was doing nothing.
Well,
I was just living my life.
I'm sweating now because I'm like, shit, I probably did something wrong. And now it's going to be out there for everyone. And
I enjoyed the
tutoring
question,
company.
Shantytown Brown, so thank you. Yeah.
People are going to be like, James, you're an idiot because I'm sure I did something wrong. If Jack's first reaction is like, oh, there's no way that math's right, then I 100% did something wrong.
I didn't say there's no way. I'm just a little surprised, but it very well could be.
Please leave it up so it can be peer reviewed.
Oh, it's going to be peer reviewed already. You can go. I already posted it to the Patreon today.
Oh, wow.
Because it was on my to-do list to do at some point, and
He was so confident.
So people may have already seen this post by the time this comes out. Our most loyal
have already seen it.
Speaking of our most loyal, we have gotten a few new Patreon members in the last week. We've got Austin Lemaster, who's written in some questions before. Thank you, Austin. We've got Brian Dancer, which it doesn't feel the same without following that up by saying Brian and Sarah. So if you could reach out to them, those other, you can bet on that, listeners that are on the same, bi-weekly schedule that you are. Brian, if you could get Brian and Sarah in, that would be really good for us.
Yeah.
And then Vinny Chenz is a new Patreon member as well. Thank you, Vinny. And I think he's probably just looking for a little quid pro quo, because I think their Chasing Even podcast is probably starting a Patreon soon. So
I told him he had to if he wanted to keep asking more questions. So this is why.
That makes sense. Also, shout out to the many people who signed up just for free. There's a free level, and you get the exact same thing that everyone else gets, which is nothing except for
shitty math.
Some shitty math. God, it's going to be so bad. I'm sweating.
I like the idea of we've gone from, at first we're saying we're not going to give them any information, you're not going to get anything extra,
and now it's just
now
bad.
Actually you're going to get bad stuff. Like just it's going to be a negative worth.
I did post up there a tour of a room I got at
that's the room you got?
Hard Rock. That's the room I got in Hard Rock, Tampa. And then I did this post with the help of some Chat GPT and some of my own math, because I feel like I'm good at math, which now is probably really bad. And Jack's going to look at it and tell me how stupid I am. So
I'm only good at combinatorics, which thankfully is what you need for video poker. So yeah.
I'm in a combinatorics textbook because in my undergrad, my professor was writing a combinatorics textbook when I was taking combinatorics.
What does it mean to be in it? Just like there's a picture of you, or like?
No, it's like in the thank yous, because
we were a big strip club.
You're
guy.
acknowledged.
I'm acknowledged.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I should put that on my CV, which I just updated, and put Handy at the Shandy on my CV.
Speaking of acknowledgements, I'd also like to acknowledge people that have signed up and given us money for 1 month and then canceled their subscription. It sounds like I'm being tongue-in-cheek. That's actually just completely fine. Like, if you want to just give us some small amount of money, sign up for 1 month and then immediately cancel. We'll still probably shout you out. We don't know you're going to cancel. It works.
And if it matters to you, I don't have access to those funds. I actually don't even know who does. So if you really don't want it going to me, all the better.
All the better. Because we will not be setting up anytime soon any other way of giving us money besides this way. So if you're trying to do some sort of karma donation, you can send a karma donation by joining for 1 second and then unsubscribing.
All right, we need to stop talking about it. It sounds like we're begging now, which is the opposite of what we want.
No, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
And in the same vein, the only way to get on the show, because we are not offering any sort of audio methods for getting your voice heard on the show, is to email the pod at handyattheshandy@gmail.com, or find other intrepid members of the pod on Twitter and DM them.
Yep. Find one
or at them or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. All right. Well,
that was really fun. That was a really good ending segment.
Great ending segment. The people who are still listening right now
started strong with Johnny Rockets and just went downhill.
So downhill.
Got on to combinatorics, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, fucking English major over here. Anyways,
this was actually my my pre-calc teacher in 10th grade did like this exact video poker math, because he was like a poker player. He did this exact stuff for our like exams. They'd be like, okay, you've got like a deck with like 6 suits, but only 9 ranks. What's the probability of being dealt a straight flush? Like that would be like types of questions we would get. And so like I'm uniquely prepared for this sort of stuff thanks to my public school education.
And our listeners are not prepared for how awful the ending of this second episode. You know the question earlier about regrets? Well, we might have found our first one. All right, everybody. This is episode 30, hour 2 of Handy at the Shandy. We're going to get out of here. For Boring Jack and Adam the Fraud, I am Table James Games, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
See ya.